Study skills are important. They help you study smarter, they help you study faster. But if I could choose, I would trade all 10 of the study skills and tactics that I will list in this video in for just one important skill. The simple reason? These 10 skills and tactics, they're really important and they're really powerful. But the one that I'm talking about right now in this video will make your life as an adult learner 10 times easier, and it will make your life 10 times better. Hi, my name is Arjen and I help adult learners study smarter. If you're interested in that, please subscribe to the channel. Let's get on with the video. Great, let's talk about this one important skill. Hello, it's me again from the back of your mind. Before we start talking about this one important skill that you mentioned, I want to know the 10 other things that are very important when studying. Can you share them so I know what I have to give up? Sure, let's talk about this. Let's talk about the 10 very important study skills and study tactics. And I give you them in no particular order. I'm not telling you one is better than the other. It depends. It depends on what you're studying and what you're used to when studying. The first one is reading skills. And this is the one most people are very interested in when I tell them we're going to study smarter. Oh yes, please tell me, how can I improve my reading speed? How can I read like 1,000 words a minute? Okay, science tells us that it is for our brains good to read at a maximum speed of like 500 words per minute. If you're reading at 1,000 words per minute, science tells us that it's not really possible. But reading speed isn't that important, I think. Reading tactics are far more important. So what you want to do is you want to increase your reading comprehension and thus increasing your reading speed, because you don't have to reread then. So I shouldn't read twice as fast? That's right. You must become a better reader. You must become a more efficient reader. And this is a skill that will help you in studying, but also in your work, of course. The second one is memory. Do you need a perfect memory? Well, most people, they just want to learn how to remember what they just read. Do you also want to remember what you just read? Yeah. I want to remember what I read. I will remember what I see in lectures that I watch. And by the way, can I get a photographic memory? Sorry, you can't get a photographic memory. This is not something that is real. It's really, really nice in movies and series, but it's not a real thing. And furthermore, oftentimes you only need to remember what you just read. If you have a long enough memory to remember what you read on a page and then you take notes, you're good to go because you stored your important information in a note. And after that, you don't really need it in your head because you stored it on paper or in your computer. So what you're basically saying, memory techniques not useful? No. They're very important. They're very useful. You should definitely learn memory techniques. But again, they're not the most important thing. They're a wonderful tool that will help you in studying and remember the information that you must remember. The third thing is focus on your book for hours and hours. I see this in many people and I see this in myself as well. When I'm reaching a deadline, I tend to increase the workload that I have. And that was true when I was studying, and it is true when I'm working on a project. I'm really good at doing a lot of work in the end before I reach the deadline. So you're not talking about me, us, as a brain and a you that really have to study a long time just the weekend or the week before we have our exam, right? Yes, that's true. I'm really talking about that. You shouldn't be studying all the time just before you have your exam. Cramming is really not a good study tactic. And I'm talking to the adult learner as well, because when you get home from a work day, a full day of work, and you have to get home and you eat and then you have to study for hours, really not very good for studying. Study for like 60 minutes, 30 minutes, or even 15 minutes. Do study power sessions. Go through your book fast, get the information, store the information, and use the information. My honest advice for most people who are studying late in the evening or entire weekends, study in shorter sessions, with full focus. Number 4, create the best notes. Do you know what the best method is for note taking?
Oh, I know. Mind maps. Of course, we have to talk about mind maps, right?
Yes, you're right. Mind maps are a very good student note-taking method. But so are Cornell notes. So is your probably normal linear way of taking notes. So is the Feynman method for taking notes. They're all good methods for taking notes. And the best one, that's not always the same method. Sometimes it's easier to create a mind map, sometimes it's easier to create just linear notes or write down a few bullet points. So the best notes are the notes that help you move forward when studying. We all have our preferred method. Well, try out new things. Try this method that you heard of. Try to create a little bit of a mind map. Add some more color to your notes. Outline your notes smarter. And by doing that, by doing little tests to see which method works best for you, you can grow and make better notes. And every time you can create the best notes that you can create at that specific moment. Number 5, have a clear goal. You need to have a clear goal. This helps you to stay motivated and know where you're going. And it also helps you remember why you're doing all this hard work. You study because you want to get a better job, move up, or change jobs. And that is why you get home in the evening, and even then you study. Time that you could have spent with your family or doing other things. But now you're studying to improve your life. That's a clear goal. And know your goal, but it's not the most important thing that you should know and should do.
So, do I need to focus on my goal all the time?
No. Your goal is just a reminder for you. Focus on daily progress. It's much easier to focus on a daily goal instead of focusing on a big goal like graduating in like 4 years. It's easier to focus on one daily goal. For example, study 10 pages a day, and that's your goal. And if you reach your goal, wonderful. Number 6, create the right room, the right desk. Do you study at the same desk in the same location every time, or is it not something that you really care about? Can you study on the couch or in the kitchen or at your work or in the train or wherever you want?
Okay, I study at a very clean desk. I use a minimal computer desktop and I have it right here in the back of your mind. Is that good?
Sure, it's good. My only question is it helping you move forward or is it limiting you? If it's helping you, continue to use it. You're doing a wonderful job. And just make sure that you sprinkle in some few changes along the way to see if you can even improve your current study situation. Because we all know if you have enough focus, if you enjoy the topic enough, well, it's easier for you to study then. And it doesn't really care if you're in a crowded room or there's a lot of noise around you. You have enough focus because you like it or you're just interested. If you're not really in that situation that you enjoy or you're very interested in the topic and your focus is not really optimal, make sure that you find a dedicated place where you will sit down and you will study with as few distractions as possible. And once your study skills improve, you can allow more distraction around you. Number 7, have a great planning. When I was studying or when I'm working, I always loved it to create a very detailed planning. I had to know exactly what I had to do, and this was really helping me, I guess.
Yes, you need a planning because that's something that will keep you on track. Go planning.
Yes, a planning can help you, but what really helps you is that you become a consistent learner. Learn every day from your book. And that's why I started to do that a long time ago. I started to create a list of daily actions that I had to do in order to help me move forward. For example, studying. I make sure that I study 20 pages a day.
What, like 20 pages? That's something that I do every day in the weekend. 20 pages is easy. I do 50 or sometimes even 100.
Sure, 20 pages may not be that much, but if you do them consistently, every day, you read over 7,000 pages per year. And you know what I said before, 20 pages a day is 20 books per year that you can read. I don't try to study in bursts. It's not a sprint every time. For me, it's a marathon. I walk consistently towards the end. I study consistently. It's a lot easier for me to study that way. And I don't have to doubt myself, what do I have to do to study today? No, I know it. 20 pages. And I do that, and that's great. Number 8. Have the right computer and the right software installed. You know, back when Grandpa was younger, we had to go to the library for books. We didn't have all these fancy computer tools. We didn't have the internet. I bet you never heard this sound if you're younger than 20 years.
Oh, I remember that. I remember that sound. It was from way back when we only had internet, where we only had text-based internet and not that many images, because images took so long to load and we wanted to get the information. Right?
Yes, when you're an adult learner, you probably remember that sound. And it just tells you that there was no problem studying before. And there shouldn't be a big problem right now when studying. It's all about your study tactics and your study techniques, your study skills. And if you need any of these gadgets, just make sure that you don't get attached to them too much or addicted to using them. Make studying as focused as possible and keep it as simple as possible. And then you probably don't need the biggest computer or the best gadgets or apps on your phone. Number 9, use active recall. Man, I really love this method of studying. Active recall. Asking questions to activate your memory.
Didn't we create a video on that? Maybe we should add a link to this so people can watch that as well. And while they're looking at it, maybe we should ask them to subscribe to the channel or at least like the video, because I know people are interested in this. So if you get value from this, make sure that you press the like button.
Yes, active recall is very important, but it's just one of the tools that you can use for studying smarter. It just helps you to trigger your memory. But it does come close to the one skill that I will tell you more about in just a few minutes. Number 10, neatly follow along with the rest of the group. Even if it's an online course, follow with the rest. You should be doing that, right? Well, it at least gives you a good pace if you're studying with the rest. Because they said, well, we should do this now and do this then. And you don't have to really think about the things that you have to do a lot. So it's a good way of following along with the group. But, there's always a but it may be difficult for you to keep up with the group if you're finding this topic really difficult or you don't have a lot of previous knowledge about this topic. And it could be really not interesting if you already know a lot of this, what the group is talking about, and you should really want to move forward. Well, a wonderful thing about studying online, of course, is that you can study at your own pace. You can follow the group, but you can also put emphasis on newer topics or different topics. Now, these are 10 things that are very important in studying. They're very important, no doubt about it. But there is one thing that is far more important, I think, for you to understand and to master than all these 10 combined.
Okay. What is it? Tell me what it is. I want to know. I want to become a better student. I want you to show me and tell me what you are talking about. Please.
Okay, here's the solution. This is the thing that I think is very important for you to understand. You have to, well, I just said it, you have to understand what you're studying. So, understand what the book is telling you. And if you understand it, there's no need to read faster or smarter. There's no need to reread. Once you understand, you don't have to read faster. You don't have to get a perfect memory. You don't even have to memorize a lot of information once you understand it. You may be comfortable just using a pen and a sheet of paper. You even don't need to write down a lot of questions to trigger your memory. And you certainly don't need to cram in hours of studying. Because once you understand, you can use. Understanding a topic or a concept saves you a lot of time. Try to find analogies between what you already know and what you're studying. And when you can combine the two, you probably can move forward faster in what you're studying. Remember, you have so much knowledge already in your head. You have so much information that you can rely on already. You have life experience. And there must be a couple of things that you can take from your life experience and use that in your studies. Learn to see that and you will start studying smarter immediately. So studying a new topic, make sure that you go back into your head and think, when was something like this occurring in my life? When did I see these concepts, these strategies, these important things that this book is talking about? When did I see that before? And when you understand, you can start to create connections between the two and you start understanding your topic a lot faster. So use current knowledge to complement your book knowledge.
So that's it? Just connecting information with each other?
Yes, basically that's it. Connect the old information you have with the new information that you're studying. It's the same thing I did when I was studying physics. I made sure that I see the analogies between electricity, thermodynamics, mechanics and other fields. And when I found those similarities, I only needed to change a few variables and I was quickly understanding what was going on in that new field. And you can do the same. When you do this, you will save time and become much more efficient in learning. I have a question for you. Please share in the comments below what you're studying and how you can relate this to information that you already have in your head. And just by answering this simple question, hopefully in the comments, but at least in your head, you're studying more efficiently. If you like what you learned, please make sure that you subscribe to the channel. I look forward to meeting you in person. Have a look at the description to see how we can do that, or seeing you in another video. Remember, now that you know, use this to grow. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.